All right. Last but not least. So this was a TikTok one, which was pretty. This was a TikTok one, but I'm not gonna play it and pause it because I don't really know how to do that shit without getting a copyright strike. I don't know how that works. So we're gonna work on learning about that, but we just gonna talk through it. So here are three things you must hate if you seek financial independence, and saving is one of them. It caught my attention when I was reading. I'm like, what? Like, okay, let me see what you're talking about. All right. So I figured so let's break it down. Things to hate in order to become financial independent. So it looked like that video was getting a lot of traction. And so naturally, when you hear someone saying saving money was the first thing to hate, it's like, ooh, it cause a little controversy or whatever, makes it a little spicy. So I get it. She says people should focus on bringing in more money instead of just saving money so that they can have disposable income for enjoying life that way they want after paying bills and other expenses. She says putting all energy and focusing on earning more is way better than cutting costs on coffee, food, and other stuff. To do this, she recommends using money to make more money through smart investments rather than allowing it to sit in a bank account in the form of savings. You know, what are your thoughts on that? Just from your perspective.
I just don't like anything because we get what she's saying, but I don't like anything that would confuse the average person and make them not save because there's no point in making all this money if you just blow it all and give it to Amex. Because I bet Amex gonna save it if you give it to them. I bet they save it. And you look at any company, I mean, you gotta run your personal finance like a business because it is the business of you. And I don't know about you, but like you said, whenever we look at stocks and things like that, and you look at the financial documents, I remember being in school. One thing you would look at is how much cash does this company have on hand?
Yeah.
Are they just running on fumes? Are they hoping that I invest in them so that they can move forward, or do they have money already? Or they have money saved up?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. So I understand what she's saying. I It's like I agree, but then I disagree. For the reason that you mentioned, because it can kind of confuse people who's not even at that point yet, right? So it's like my thing is you got to be able to manage a little before you're able to manage a lot. Like if you can't manage
Mhm.
the little that you have, if you get double in your income and you're not a responsible person and you hadn't developed money management yet, then you can make 500,000 like that 11% mentioned that feel like they needed to make. And guess what? You're just gonna have nicer toys. You're gonna have probably, you're gonna have a nice $150,000 Porsche. You're gonna have, you're gonna have $1 million crib because you can get approved for it if you're making $500,000 a year. You can. You'll probably have a
Yep.
boat. You'll probably be taking real, nice trips. And so you'll just have a lot of nice things. And then when you look into the investments, if you hadn't really developed that muscle, it's gonna be anemic. Like it's not gonna be where it needs to be. Because when I hear if you're making $500,000 a year, I'm like, oh, okay, so that means you probably investing. You got to at least be investing what a buck 50 a year, 200 a year. Like, let's do some math. You making 500,000 times. I would say the low side, you need to, which that's low side, you need to be investing $100,000. And that's just 20%. That's being reasonable. Honestly, I think you could probably take it up. I think you could probably take it up a little bit more. You could be a little bit more aggressive, stay down a little bit longer. But you know, but to her point, but I will say this. Let's take it from this angle. Let's say you have developed the money management part of it. Because when you hear people say it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. I I have mixed feelings about that statement. I understand what it's saying, but if you making $30,000 a year, you don't make enough money to really invest the way that you really need to. Like that you because like by the time you took care of your housing, you eaten, you know, even if you are doing the Chipotle every once in a while, like you doing a little bit of saving, like there ain't a lot of money left over.
Yep.
And you've cut out the coffee, food, the other like to what she's talking about. You've cut to the bare bones, and you might even be able to squeeze out an extra 200 to go into a brokerage account, which is better than nothing. But like, that's not really going to move the needle. So I
Yep.
understand what she's saying here, which I agree with that part. And the part that I do agree with is the times in my life where I've made significant traction is when I increase my income. But the caveat is I was good with managing my money. And so like when the money came in, I didn't automatically like going out, buying a bigger house, going out, buying a bigger car. Like I just redirected that and like, oh snap, okay, I got more money to go and invest. You know what I'm saying? Like, or I got more money to her point to go ahead and chop off this debt that we got. It'll be a
Yep.
temporary season. And then once we finish paying off that debt, what we gonna do? We're gonna take that and we just gonna shove it in investments, you know, into perpetuity. And so like, and that wouldn't be possible without increasing my income.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So like I want to be fair and balanced and talk about it both ways. But I
Yeah.
definitely understand what she's saying there. Like, because you can get caught up in the loop to where you cut bare bones as much as you can. And now it's like you need to make more money. Like you need to focus, like pick another career, get another job, change career. I don't know what it looks like, but you in a career where you're making 40,000 and you're saying that you want to make more, then we got to figure something out because the current path you on is not going to get you where you really want to go in the timing in which you want to get there, because you're saying you want to compress the time and you don't want to be 70 years old when you get there.
Yeah, and one thing that I hate, which I was rereading what she said on that first point. I hate when people make that point of don't just leave your money sitting in the bank. It be that money sitting in your bank that save your life sometimes. It be the money sitting in your bank that let me. It was the money that I had sitting in my bank that let me crash my car earlier this year and just go get a new one within a week. You know, I get the point of okay, don't leave all of your money in the bank. Put some money towards investments. But like I said, I don't want people to confuse the public. Have some money in your bank so that you can sleep at night and rest easy. Have at least a little bit in emergency fund.
Right. Bro doing the slow motion thing. You you good over there?
Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Oh
You were doing the
Lord.
slow motion thing. You were going deep on it, but you were doing the slow motion thing, bro.
Hold on, I know what's going on. Come on, battery's low. Let me plug me in.
Yeah, so
But yeah, but could you hear me though? Y'all
yeah,
heard me?
yeah, I can hear you. Your video is just not catching up
All
with
right.
your voice.
Let
So
me,
I
let me
would
go let me plug my computer in.
yeah, plug your computer in and then also turn off your camera and then turn it back on. That might help. So I'll throw I'll jump in there while you're doing that. But yeah, I mean you're hitting you were hitting it spot on when you were addressing that, because that's real. All right, you back. You back.
There we go. Okay. Turn my computer or the camera on and off. You're plugged in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'll keep going until you get yourself together. So the second thing the creator recommended is that hate being normal. She says in modern society it is normal to be in debt. It is normal to have a limited amount of income, and that is what she despises. Uh, she encourages people to not settle for normal things. I can see, and instead wants them to hustle more to get everything they want without having to choose between two good things. I like the mindset here. So I like what she's saying because in order for us to crush our debt, we had to not be normal. In order for us to double, 2x your income, 2x my income, I had to not be normal and be okay with the statistics of the average individual is making 40,000. We could see an average individual is making $40,000 a year. I didn't like that. I don't like that. I don't want to be the average individual. I want to make more income because there's more things that I want to do. There's more money I want to put in my investment accounts. There's more money. There's more things I want to do with my wife. There's goals. There's things that we want to accomplish, and we want to compress the time without impacting the integrity of our financial plan, if that makes sense. And one of the ways to do that is to increase your income to what she's talking about, but that means that you're already good with your finances. Now, when you introduce more income in the mix, oh, it takes it to a whole nother level because if you already kind of not aggressive with debt and things of that nature, good with managing your money, and you start adding an extra 100K, extra 150, extra 200, 250. It life starts getting interesting, when you start doing those things. So I love not being normal. She despises being normal and also like having limited income. Like I noticed that gurus tell people, oh yeah, it's not oh yeah, it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. And that saying, they say that a lot is because they know, the average individual make 40K, but like somebody got to be the one to say, hey, sis, hey, bro, you just got to make more money. And like, let's pick some things that make more money. Like, I don't know what's wrong with that. Like, no one is putting anyone down, but by making, 40K or 30, like, but it's in the decision, it's in the hands of the person. Are you okay with making 40? Are you where you want to be? And if the answer is no, next, do you want to do something about it? Or are you just not excited about where you are, but you're not at that pain point yet of like, I want to make a change, and that's okay too. And you might be cool with what you got going on, but then you're going to have to adjust your expectations. Instead of taking flights internationally, more than likely, you're probably going to be taking road trips. Uh, you're probably going to be eating at home a lot more to save money. You're probably just going to like have to like really manage things that's going on like in your life, hyper focused, and uh that just is something that I wasn't interested in. And so I just keep pushing to her point. But it's levels to it, right? And so what are your thoughts on it now that you're back up and running?
Think I think I agree that it kind of reminds me of what Dave be saying. I know people think we hate Dave, but when he be saying normal sucks, like she said, normal is just being in debt. I don't want to be that. I do not want to be in debt. And so a lot of times you kind of see things on social media, or you just see things within real life. You see people do certain things with money. Like how I said, I had a conversation with certain friends of mine, and they carry credit card debt, and I don't want to say it freely, but it just sounds normal. Like if you let it, it'll just sound normal to you. It'll just sound like, oh yeah, and I just have 5,000, and I owe 10,000. I owe 8,000. And when I hear it, it jumps out so much to me because I've made a point to make that not normal at all. If I owe $5,000, check on me because something happened. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, that's good. That's facts. And so the last one that Danielle mentioned was is hating confusion. According to her, people shouldn't have too many plans and too many goals, which is the shiny object syndrome. On the other hand, she says having no goal at all due to confusion also isn't productive. She says that things changed when she took a course that taught her valuable skills and allowed her to fix a financial plan that helped her achieve financial freedom. Her plan allowed her to set up an online business through which she paid off all her debt and started earning a six-figure income. So for her, she focused on building out an online business that allowed her to make six figures, and she took that income and paid off the debt. If you remember what we said, we talked about in the past, I don't care where you get the money from. Is it switching careers to unlock the income potential, side business, do that, maybe a combination of the both, whatever it looks like. All I know is that top line, you need that top line to increase, meaning revenue. You need that revenue to increase for you Inc. Whatever that and whatever capacity that may be. Everyone has different purposes. Not everyone has ambition to be an entrepreneur and they want to, and there's a career path that will open up the gates for them to allow them to make a good living, a good life for themselves. Um, okay, fine. If another person like I'm not into corporate, okay, cool. Don't be into corporate, but you still got to increase your income, whatever that looks like. Cool. You got some people that gonna do a combination of both. However that ends up being, you won't get any pushback from me. Everyone is grown. Make your decision. But I do like what she's saying is uh, not having a whole bunch of goals that you're trying to do all at one time with your finances, which could cause a lot of confusion. And that's the one thing I learned too. So like, in wrapping this up, and I'll stop. And to give her credit, it was Coach Daniela. If you'll find her on TikTok if you want to check her out, give her credit. So like, you gotta, when we were paying off our debt, because I was conflicted. I was like, man, but I still want to be like putting a whole bunch in my investments. But then we got this goal of wanting to be aggressive with paying off the debt. Had to, so we made a choice. So we was like, all right, we're gonna keep contributing to 401k, but we're gonna stop investing in the brokerage for now, and we're gonna throw all that money at the student loan debt. And once that's gone, then we'll go to the brokerage and we won't have to deal with debt again because we not that type of debt again because we'll be done with it. We know what to do with money. It's a little bit slower progress, but we're okay with our progress. And that's the other thing too. You got to be okay with your journey, and you can't be like comparing it to someone else's journey because you might not be as far down the road as that they are. And so be where you are, embrace where you are, because when you hit a goal, you can always reset the goal because now you've achieved this goal. So like, be mindful of those things, right? So like, anything you want to add as we getting ready to close, shut it.
I, I really like that third point. I think that kind of turned me around for her. I think I like what she has to say overall. I might check her out, but for some reason, it reminds me of this training that I went to that my last job paid for me to go through, and specifically the word confusion. One of my main takeaways from that training was talking to the client, talking to our partners, get rid of all that confusion. There's really only two ways I can help you. I can either help you increase revenue or lower costs. Everything else is just confusion.
It
And
is.
so that was for interacting with business owners. But like I said earlier, you got to run yourself as you Inc. business. You run yourself as a business. So try to cut out all the confusion. And I read something earlier today that was saying, stop watching so much self-care stuff. Like stop watching so much, like because it can confusion is such a good word for it because social media have you wanting to be an entrepreneur and a 6-figure, 7-figure corporate earner and a superstar chef with
Facts.
washboard abs. And it's
Yeah.
like, man, I can't, I'm focused on 10 different goals at once and not making progress towards none of them.
Yeah.
So I like what she said about focus on one thing and just run towards it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll leave you with this. Stay encouraged, keep pushing. Uh, it's okay where you are. If you are, if you do have the debt and you are like disgusted with what's going on, you should be. I remember there was a time I was disgusted. So we all, and so, but it takes you to feel that way to want to take that next step and do something about it. So, but the first step is acknowledging you're not like you disgusted about where you are, and then I want to do something about it because that's the other part too. Because like if you don't want to do nothing about it, then there's nothing for us to talk about, like in terms of like
Yep.
like putting together a plan or like, or and it maybe it's not, maybe you just need the community to like stay encouraged because that's the other thing too. You're not by yourself. There's a lot of people out here that might be in your same scenario um that overcame it. So like get in a community of people that overcame your situation. And so that's what we're doing here. We're building a community, one subscriber at a time, one community at a time, member at a time, legacy builders. I think that's what we calling us, or what
Yeah.
have you. But we just, and so just a group of like-minded people that care about, like you said, I'm married, you got a fiance. So it's folks that really care about working with someone, having a partner, um, and y'all working together on your plan to get where you're trying to go. And so that's what it's all about. That's what life is about, man. And when you start making things like crazy simple, things slow down, and then to your point, you don't have all this confusion. And my biggest thing is always knowing what the options are. If I want to go down that path, go down that path. I want to do this path, go down that path. And then just pick your path on what works for you. Maybe I want to be debt-free path. Okay. People not going to agree with that. But if that's the path that you want, rock out, go down that path. If it's a path of, hey, I'm going to leverage and do all this, hey, that's your path. Walk your path, go do your path. That's not what we're not teaching that over here per se, you know.
Yep.
But you can go do that. And it's okay. And so like, because where the confusion comes, well, this person said, well, Dave Ramsey or Robert Kiyosaki, like when you start getting into all of that, like stand on the edge, look at what he talking about, look at what the philosophy, which one resonates more with you. Like, if you want to go down the path of leverage, it's risky, but it could pay off, it could work. But are you built like that too? Are you really got to be built? No, I'm serious. You really got to be built
Yeah.
a
No.
certain way to be leveraging debt. You talking about being a good manager of money. You got to be a great manager of capital. Like when you are, can you sleep at night being $500,000 in debt, or $1 million in debt, or 2 million in debt? Now it's
No.
kicking off cash flow, but are you built in a way where you feel with that you could sleep at night having that type of debt? Or you like, I ain't interested in that. Like I get it, it's quote unquote good debt, which I don't really believe that. But if you like, I want to simplify my life, really simplify my life. I like real estate, I like doing those things, but I'm gonna do it a little bit different. Now, as I close, I will tell you this: there is a difference though. Going down the Dave Ramsey path or debt-free path, one recommendation that I have, and I'm going to stand by it. If you go down that path, I'm going to challenge our community to make more money so you can self-fund things and so you can get to where you're trying to go, because it hit a little bit different. You're making 200, 300,000 a year and you're living debt free, opposed to you making 40,000 and you live in a debt-free life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you having and so you have a beer income, excuse my French, but you got wine taste. And it's okay. Like you can have your wine taste, but if you're not willing to like explore increasing your income, then you probably just have to adjust your expectations on what you want for your life and what $40,000 will get you. Like, and so just live within your means within that 40,000 and just rock out, then it's all good. But you know what I'm saying? So like that's my thing is if you want to be debt free, my thing is I encourage people, hey, how do we help you get to a 6-figure income, which and being a good steward of your income, being a good money manager and getting to the 6 figures. That way, you can have some discretionary income and still be debt free and do those things, if you want to do that. Now, and probably the only thing you'll probably have a debt on is your mortgage, you know what I'm saying? And that's okay. And then you might have put a time limit on when you X that off, whether it be, hey, I'm gonna pay that off within 5 to 10 years, whatever, but it ain't gonna be 30. You know what I'm saying? So like just think about those things that think about all those things, and last personal finances is personal. And so what do you want for your life? Before you even start getting down a dream, what do you want? Like, what do you want to do? As we opened up this show, we were talking about traveling and doing those things. If you want to travel, go count the cost. Count the cost on what it costs for your dream. You know what I'm saying? And reverse engineer back to the present. And then evaluate. Like, you got to have some real talk conversations with yourself, and look yourself in the mirror of like, what I got going on right now, would that allow me to live my dream? And if not, that's okay. How can I? And that's when you start identifying your who's who can kind of help you like start the process. Like I have who's, still looking for more who's. You got who's that that help you on your journey. I'm your who, one of your who's, but then just many other people out there that can be your who as well to help you get to where you're trying to go. I'm just one person. And so but yeah, man, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, check out other videos if you found this one helpful. We have many, many more coming up. Until the next episode, peace. We out.
Peace.